Hello and welcome to my channel Careers at 360. Today I'm starting a new series called Data Modeling and Data Automations. Many of our channel followers around the world has told us that they have gone through our different sessions on Excel, which is starting from the beginners to advanced, and they know the function and how the functions work, but they are now more interested to learn how to apply those functions into our real-time scenarios. So based on those requests, what I have planned is to start a new series which is called Data Modeling and Data Automation, and all the examples which I'll be sharing here with you are the real-time projects which I have done into my 20 years of a career. It's not something which I have created or something which I have imagined something, and that's why it is very important. Please keep in mind that and one of the things which I will say is to in my different sessions is this: what we focus around is that you can feel is that you are working as an in an office environment, and all the examples which we will cover in our sessions, you will feel as it as like a hands-on practical training. And in all our sessions we try to keep this aspect very clear, that when you see these examples, you will feel as you are working in a office, and that's why I call it a hands-on practical trainings. And why it is hands-on practical training? Because the managers nowadays are not only interested in your degrees and diplomas, and they are equally interested in what you can do for them based on your corporate skills. So on a resumes, your education is important, but your corporate skills are equally important. And before you want to start this series with me, if you have not gone through my previous Excel series where I say how to become a financial analyst from beginners to start, I will recommend you to go through that series so that you can understand the Excel more in detail, the concepts about the Excels, and then you will enjoy more about this series which is called Data Modeling and Data Automations. Okay, first of all, let's understand the definition of this. As you can see on your screen, that data modeling helps in a visual representation of a data and enforce business rules, regulatory compliances, and the government policies on the data. Or in other words, it's a skill that helps you to convert large data into a summarized forms to help your management to do our business decisions more effectively. And second concept is data automation, and which is simply is a skill where you use your advanced Excel skills to bring more efficiency and accuracy into your day-to-day work by avoiding the repeated actions and the manual tasks. So if you are clear about these two topics, let me explain you the situation. Now the situation is, for this data modeling and data automation exercises, that you are working for a catering company. Either you join the company and this become your job, or you have seen one of your colleague is doing all those things. So now what is the process? Process is that during the days you have 10 to 15 different or 20, 30, 40 different corporate customers, those who ask you to send them the meals on a daily basis, which is 5 working days, and sometimes they keep on changing your menus. Sometimes they ask you different menus, so that you have around 8 to 10 different menus on your list, and you provide them. So now the person who is maintaining the record over here of the daily sales or whatever it is, that person has to put the days over here manually, then he has to put the customers' names over here manually, then he has to put the name or a definition of the meal, then that person has to put the quantity of the order and rate. Maybe they have used some VLOOKUP formula to bring in the rate from any of the master files. And then what they do from here to here, that for example, there are some of the products on which there's exempted from the tax, and some of the products which has a tax. So what the person do is he look onto the invoice. If there is a tax on the invoice, first he manually put the tax over here, and then put the values of the goods over here, and then there's a formula which is adding the tax and the amount. So now right now I have mentioned here 10 customers, but let's say you have a list of 20, 30, 40 or 50 or maybe more than those customers. So what you will doing around the day, for example, you will be moving from a column to column every time, because you have to select the customer, then you have to input the data and things like this. And at the end of the day, you have to make sure that whatever the quantities and the rates and the text amounts you have input finally get reconciled. And if it's not reconciled, then you'll be spending, I don't know, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, depending on the volume of the data. Maybe you are receiving 400, 500 orders a day. You may need another 2 hours to reconcile the data. And again, it's an hectic exercises where, most of your time is used in doing a manual input. So what you have decided, either it is your job or you have seen your colleague, you have come up with an idea. And the idea is basically what we have done into our exercise. So before I go on to the main file, what I say is that you have defined some of the parameters for your data automation and data modeling. And what are those? That you have put the details of the meals over here and the rates of the meals, so that so there are 5 meals and 5 different types of snacks over here. Then every customer has a code, so you put the code here and you put the customer name over here. And because you do a business maybe 5 days a week or 7 days, so for my convenience, rather than putting a day on my main sheet, I will put the days over here. And now for the text also, because there are some products which are exempted and there are some products on which you have to charge the text, so I put the text yes and no over here. So now this is my automated file. Okay, and now if you see this one, which is a green color, automated, so that you can see the difference, and over here, which was before, you can see that only 2 columns I have added. One is the code and one is this yes and no. So these 2 columns are added here. Rest everything is more or less the same as it was on the before sheet. So now what happens, that for the days I will use a data modeling, a data validation. And as you can see that I don't have to write the days. I can select it from the list, and the list is defined into a parameters sheet here. Same is the case with the customer. I don't have to put the manual customers. I will use my data validation to bring in the customers through here. And again, this is, I want my codes over here. And as you can see that I have used a XLOOKUP formula to bring in the code. So what is that formula says? That formula says that read this customer name over here, okay, and when it is found, then pick the codes from the left hand side. And as we have seen in our previous sessions, that XLOOKUP is capable to pick the informations or the columns from the left and the right. So based on that, I bring the codes over here. And I'll tell you what is the use of this. And then again, for the details of the meal, there is a data validation is available here. You can select the meals upon whatever is the order in there. And this is dark green is the column which says you have to manually input the quantity, because you don't know that you will be receiving the order for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, how many meals are there. So the moment you do that, now you know what is the product here, who is the customer, so you know which products are taxable and which are no. So for example, you simply has to do yes or no over here. So again, you have to do nothing. Yes and no is coming. You have to select any one thing, and based on that, system calculates the rate automatically. Why? Because again, you can see that there's an XLOOKUP formula where I'm bringing in the rates here. So I'm bringing the rates from the parameters over here. So using the XLOOKUP formula, bringing the rates here. The moment you put the quantity, and the moment you put the rates, and the moment you put that it's a taxable or not taxable, now there is a simple. Now how do I know? I want them to put into a respective column of the customer. I want that once I put the code over here or the customer here, it goes into the column, because then I want to see how much business I'm doing with the customers on a daily basis, and this highlighted data is again used for doing some more analysis of the data. Okay, so what I will do over here, I will apply a simple concept of a if formula. And what if formula says that if this code matches with this code, okay, if E4 is equals to J4, then do what? Then simply multiply the quantity, which is G, with I, which is a rate. Multiply quantity with the rates, and otherwise if it's not matching, 101 is not matching with this code, then do 0. And again over here the formula will be match this 101, which is, that's why I put the dollar before the E, with the K. And what is K? K is 102, K3 is 102. If it is matched, okay, then bring in the calculation, which is quantity into amount, otherwise leave 0. So this is how I put the here. For example, now if I change this meal, customer from 101, so let's say I want to put E here, and E is 105, and you can see that from here it jumps to 105. Why? Because the if formula working here for column H here. And then because the text is Y here, then there is another X, and this is a simple sum of all these columns. From where is the amount appearing, just do a total of this amount. And then again this over here for the text, there is an if formula. If the column H, which is a text column here, if the value in, let's say in this case H4 is yes, if yes, then do what? Then first calculate the multiply quantity with the rate so that you can get the sales value, and then multiply it with U1. What is U1? U1 is over here the tax percentage, which is defined here in Ontario. So 13% is the tax, and system has calculated a 13% of 146. And here is a simple formula which says column T plus column U, which is sales plus tax, become the total value of the invoice. And over here again I've selected the D column, which is over here. Let's change it to customer A. I want it again into one column, and you can see everything move here. And even if I move over here is 5.25, which is for meal 3, but if I want to change it to let's say snack 3, so now you can see the rates has been changed, amount has been changed, and everything. And because it's not taxable, so that's why over here the system is calculating 0. Okay, so let me just clean 2 of these things for you to do an input right in front of you, so you can see how can. So again, nothing, I can open this thing and go on to any of the customer. I can go to any of my meal here. Yes, the text is over here is yes, and that's all. See, now I don't have to do anything beyond this green column. Everything over here is calculated automatically. And over here, let's do a second entry without this. And my customer is, let's say I want to select my snack 4, and I say there's no text over here, and system has not calculated anything, and you can see everything get fulfilled at once. Now at any time, if once in a year, 2 years, 3 years, the government has changed the tax rate, I don't have to change my working. Simply I will change the text. Let's say if I put 1% over here, and right now there's 311 taxes here. The moment I change, now you can see it's only $23. Why? Because now the system is calculating 1. So you can always change one text number and your file can be changed. And if it is a weekly file, then you have to do nothing. Save it week 01, 02, 20th week, 40th week, 52 weeks, and then you can save it to the next year, and so on. So you can make it a file on a weekly basis and can keep a record over here. Now what again else I have done, because when I have saved my time through the data automation, that what I want to do, I want to do a value addition into my working. And for the value addition, what I have done is that I've created some of the charts on my pivot table. So over here what I've done is there's a simple codes over here, nothing I've done, and I bring in the sales value, I have bring in the text, and I bring the total sale, which is D plus E. For sales, I can use a X lookup or a V lookup, whatever you want, and I can say find out this code or this code, whatever, and bring in the sales value, which is this column. Okay, so now you can count, either you are counting from the code or you are counting from the, and one thing more, if I don't need this thing because it's just a VLOOKUP formula, I can hide it also. I can hide this thing and I don't need it. So now your data become more clear. So now you can bring in this sales value, either you can use VLOOKUP or you can use XLOOKUP, whatever it is. But over here the problem is okay, again over here I've used XLOOKUP. Why? Because I bring in the horizontal value. The totals of these customers are appearing over here horizontally. Okay, so not VLOOKUP, sorry, not VLOOKUP cannot pick the horizontal. So I've used XLOOKUP to search onto these codes and then bring the values of horizontally. Okay, so this is the formula which is bringing in the values, and then over here, because I don't have the totals of the text, so what I have done, I have left with no other option that I have to use a sum if formula. If my condition is true, then please do the sum, and as you can see that this is the formula which is working over here. Okay, it's a simple formula which is on the column B, which is a code. It says that go into the data file which is over here. The criteria is from E column. And what is E column? E column for me is my codes which I've hidden over here. Yeah, so this is my codes in this range. Find what? Find this B3. What is B3? Find this code here, and if it is found, then go on to column U and add the numbers related to 101. So what is column U for me? Column U is the text, so only add the text as per the code over there. Okay, and then based on this simple formula, what I've done is I've made a small chart over here which is giving me a graphical picture of my performance of my customer. So my customer names are here, and one can easily see that my customer, which is I column, I customer, which is this, is doing a maximum business with me. And now if your manager is looking into these details, he can ask the people what happens to customer H and G, F. They are into their 200s and something like this. Why, when other people are doing 400, 500 up to 700, why can you do not focus more onto F, G and H and can bring more business for the company? So this is how the analysis can be done. And then what happened, that over here I've made a simple pivot table. As you can see, I bring in the pivot table, and I want my meals to be displayed here, and the quantities and the sales. I want to see that which meal is more high in demand in the over there, and what to see. So here is the sales quantity, which is 4155, which matches over here, because this is my revenue after tax. It's not my real revenue is here. And then I've made a chart on this thing which says that my sales numbers are in the columns and my quantities are in the in this line graphic. So now I know that this is just analysis of the quantity. If the quantity will fall, naturally my sales will fall. So if my quantity goes up, my sales will go up, which is a natural formula. But again, you can see here that what is the performance of each of your meals items for here. For example, we can say that meal number 5, which is written here, and snack number 5 is going good. 4 and 3 meals are again something like an average or slightly above the average. But as far as snack 1, 2 and 3 and meal 1 and 2, their performances are not good. So you have to promote, you have to bring improvement, you have to market it more, you have to maybe have some discounts, so that your other products can also go in parallel with the high demand products. Okay, so this is the graph here, which is giving us a clear picture. Thirdly, what I've done is that I put my days here, and the manager want to see which day normally the more business is done. So to represent that, what I've done is I put it into a graph. So now one can see that Tuesday is something where this is Tuesday, and this is Wednesday. So Wednesday and Tuesday is apparently the 2 days where the large volume of business has been done. Monday is is again has a low volumes or values. Thursday, these 2 months are low, whereas Friday is again somewhere like around average. But technically Wednesday and Tuesday is the good days where we're having high volumes or high value, whatever it is. Okay, so this is how simple graphs can give you a picture, and these all charts, all these tables are linked with the data. The moment you up the data, these charts will be updated automatically. And then there's a final one, the detailed pivot table, which is showing me which customer is doing business on what day. So why customer A is only doing business with Monday and Wednesday, what about Tuesday, Thursday and Friday? So I will ask my sales people or whoever who are responsible to bring in the business, I will say go and contact those people and tell them what they are doing on those other days. So bring me the 5 days business from them. Okay, and why one day they are taking my meal and snacks, why they don't take more than one product on those days. So this is how I can do. B is doing business on 3 days, why not on all the days? Okay, Monday, customer D is only have done business only on Monday, so what is the problem with them? Why they are not doing business in rest of the week and things like that? So this is again a detailed chart where a manager can do a analysis. And again, as I've told you over here, that one of the things which is called a data automation is that you can bring in more efficiency and accuracy over there. And over here I think I say you that convert the large data into a summarized form, so to help the management to do a decision making. Okay, so here what you have done, you have converted that large data, which is apparently few transactions, but maybe in your case there are 100, 200, 300 transactions for the day. You have converted the large data into more summarized form for your managers to do the decision making, where areas are weak, which areas are strong, where to put more focus, where to give more discounts to the people, what other competitors are doing which you are not doing, and they are your competitors are pulling the more volumes or the market share, and you are still your market share is not growing. So what are those decisions which you have to take? And again, this is again some of the things. If you don't want a date and the other details, you can pull it back and it becomes the customer day. If you bring in the meal and take out the customer, it will give you the details of this, and vice versa. So you can play with these pivot charts as per the requirement of your business, as per the demands of your seniors, and do whatever you can do. So I hope that you have enjoyed the first session of this data modeling, and you have learned something good about all those things. If so, I request you to give me a thumbs up, so that we also get encouragement from you people. And please don't forget to subscribe my channel, and if you have your friends and colleagues, please share my details with them, so that they can also take a benefit from all of these hands-on practical training. Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected for more data modeling exercises, and see you next time. Bye.